Hey guys, today we're driving the 2024 Ford F-150 Raptor R. We have the 5.2 liter supercharged V8 from the GT500. It makes 720 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque. That's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. We have a locking rear differential, new Fox dual live valve shocks that adjust on the fly for compression and rebound. Let's walk you guys around this truck. This thing is a beast. It's a monster. It's so big. I am always shocked at how big the full-size Raptor is when I get into one. As many of you know, I own a 2024 Ranger Raptor. I'll maybe make a couple comparisons, but this is just going to be a street drive on this today. Talk about what it's like to live with, what's been like to experience this week. Let's start on the outside. All right, so this has a 145-inch wheelbase, 37-inch tires. They look normal on this. 37s look normal on this. That's how big this Raptor R is. We have these new forged beadlock capable wheels for 2024. They look awesome. And these are BFG KO2 tires, 12 inches wide, 37 inches tall. Yeah, good flotation, really good ground clearance here as well. The exterior of this Raptor R is painted in Avalanche. We have the graphics package, of course, which is new for 2024. This can tow around 8,700 pounds. It has a 1,400 pound payload capacity. Blacked out exhaust tips. This just looks the business. I love some of the new squared off features with the 2024 F-150, and this Raptor just takes it to the next level with the headlights, the grille design. We have a slightly higher bumper cutout for more tire exposure here for better off-road capability. This thing isn't necessarily a rock crawler. Basically though, it'll go anywhere it fits, and it doesn't fit some places. But you get used to the size. It is kind of a shocker at first getting used to driving this thing around. You are so tall, you are so wide, but it is easier to navigate than some of the other trucks in this size. I find the visibility here is quite good. Maybe a little bit less cumbersome to drive around than the Ram TRX. I have not driven the new RHO, and better visibility than the Tundra TRD Pro, even though that's not really a competitor to this. We get a powered tailgate. The only option this truck has is the bed liner, which is around $600. Definitely something you want. Really durable, really nice finish. We've got our 120 volt, 400 watt outlet right there. Your measuring stick so you can compare with your friends. And then you've got, of course, this whole business to help you get into the bed. There you go, nice and easy. Love that. A nice, squishy, soft suspension. 1, 2, 3. I like how Ford numbers it for you. And then just give it a little push to get it back up there. Nice. Full-size spare underneath. What a beast. And of course, inside the F-150 Raptor, it's just so much space. I don't know what you do with all this space, but you've got it. Grab handles on all 4 corners. Nice step to get up into the cab. Beautiful finishing in this interior. I'm actually going to open the door back up so we can see inside here. We have heated rear seats. No rear climate control, but we get vents. Here's your armrest. Really nice materials. Love the contrast red stitching, all the Raptor R badges everywhere. Most everything feels really nice and high quality in this F-150. This costs $112,000. It's about a $31,000 add-on to get the 5.2 liter supercharged V8. Is it worth it? In today's era, it might be. This is the last super truck available with a V8. They just don't exist anymore. Oh, this is a heavy hood. It is properly fast. You're going to be just devouring fuel in this. Average MPG is 12 miles to the gallon. I've averaged about 9 this week. I did do a hypermiling run to kind of my parents' house and back in Ipsy, and I averaged 14.6 over the course of about 40 miles. So that was a mix of highway, back roads, a little bit of city driving. That's about the best I can usually do. Usually I can exceed EPA on that route, and I was able to average almost 15 miles to the gallon on this. But on a regular basis, I'd count on you getting into the single digits with this Raptor R. Luckily, it has a 36-gallon fuel tank, so you get pretty good range out of this. It's just that, each fill up at the pump, this requires premium fuel. It's going to be pricey. Yeah. Here's a look at those dual valve Fox live valve dampers. Whoa, special stuff. Really, really impressive kit here. Let's turn the wheel so we can get a better view of those. Oh, faster steering ratio in this new F-150 as well. That's nice, that's very welcome. All right, so they're there. You can't really see them too well, but really, really beefy components. A lot of strength in the suspension here in this F-150 Raptor R. These new shocks are intended to be better on and off road. So a little bit stiffer for on-road handling in sport mode, a little bit softer, more compliant everywhere else in normal mode and off-road mode. To be honest, it's kind of hard for me to tell how much of an improvement it is over the previous Raptor R that I drove a couple of years ago. That felt just about perfect. This feels maybe a little bit better. I don't think it's a huge difference, but honestly, Ford does the best job with their suspension tuning and their Raptor products, and this just takes it to the next level. All right, let's walk around this interior a little bit. I've got the same silly shifter that folds into the center area here and crushes anything you might have in there, including your fingers. It feels okay. It's a little bit cheap and clunky, but I think this feels a little bit better now, which is nice. We get wireless charging down here, a couple USB ports, place to put your phone right here, water bottle holders, cup holders, drive mode selection. This only has a locking rear diff, which is fine. Yeah, again, you're not going to be rock crawling too much in this thing, and this will get over terrain if you need it to. Bunch of different drive modes: off-road, Baja, rock crawl, normal, sport, tow haul, and slippery weather. Sport mode will kick you into 4 auto, which probably isn't a bad idea. You get 2 high, 4 auto, 4 high, and 4 low. And then here is your trailer brake controller too. That's nice. Pro trailer assist as well. This has quiet start, which you can program to kick in at certain time intervals. And I did engage that this morning, and it was really nice because it didn't wake up all the neighbors. Otherwise, the startup in this thing is pretty rowdy, especially on cold start. Sync system. It's been a little bit buggy this week. Didn't want to connect to CarPlay a few minutes ago. I had to do a reset while I was driving, and then it connected right up. No issues. A little bit laggy. Not as responsive as my Ranger Raptor system, but it works. It kind of takes a little bit to wake up in the morning, and then once it's going, it does okay. Honestly, though, you don't really need to use it for much other than CarPlay or Android Auto. Those both connect wirelessly. You've got this dual view right here, which is kind of neat. And you can control some things on the right side of the screen. You can see some other information, or you can just make it a full screen infotainment there. A lot of different settings and features. It's all pretty straightforward. You get trail turn assist in this, which is super nice. Control all of your driver assistance settings here. See what I mean about the lagginess? It's just a little bit slow to respond. But again, you're going to set all this stuff up in the first couple weeks that you own the vehicle, and then you're not really going to touch it anymore. Like there's quick access icons for CarPlay, and that we get physical controls for all of our climate controls. That's nice. We have heated, ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel, easy changes for fan speed, air recirculation, you name it, it's all there. This huge center console here. This thing's been rattling around a little bit this week. I don't know what's in here. Oh, it's a key. Huh, all right. Well, we'll just leave that right there. Behind the wheel, we get these enormous paddle shifters that just feel super high quality. Very, very nice. Some cheaper plastics and stuff around the trimming here on the dashboard, but for the most part, everything in here feels pretty good. Some carbon fiber right here and down here. Yeah, it all looks and feels quite special in this Raptor R. Lots of storage space. Kind of an upper glove box and a lower glove box. Here's the window sticker. Rarely do we get the full window sticker from Ford. This actually shows us the pricing, which is kind of cool. So base price, $77,980, $32,000 Raptor R package. Total price of $110,000. Destination is $2,000 for a $112,000 price. 10 mpg in the city, 15 on the highway. Good luck with that. Because that's not what this is about. This is about ripping around in your Raptor R, being the biggest, the baddest, and the loudest super truck ever made. Well, maybe not the loudest. TRX might be a little bit louder. But, oh, this thing is so good to drive. Okay. Let's get on the road here and give you guys some driving impressions. So we already talked about it a little bit, but ride quality in this Raptor R is sublime. It kind of encroaches upon luxury vehicle levels of ride quality. It's just so smooth, so well damped, expertly calibrated. Ford Performance, again, in conjunction with Fox, does the best job with their suspension tuning. It's next level. Jumped this off some railroad tracks earlier this week. Didn't even care. Haven't taken it off-road because we did do a pretty extensive off-road test on one of these a couple years ago in the snow. It was awesome. It is so quick too. It rips. The tuning with this 10-speed is very, very, very good as well. No hiccups, no shudders, no rough starts this week. It mates up really, really well with the torque from this 5.2 liter supercharged V8. And you can hear, this is a pretty rough section of road right now. No NVH into the cabin. It is very, very quiet. All you hear is the exhaust and the supercharger whine from the front. Before we continue, let's thank the sponsor for this video, Lewis Jewelers in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Today I'm wearing my Hesalite 3861 Omega Speedmaster. Lewis Jewelers carries many luxury watch brands like Omega, Tag Heuer, Seiko, Grand Seiko, and Tudor, among some others like Breitling. This Speedmaster Professional has always been my grail watch, my dream watch, and I've been wearing it pretty much every day ever since my first son was born about 3 years ago. Recently, I purchased the updated clasp from Lewis Jewelers so that I can have some micro adjustments here throughout the day, expand the bracelet. This updated clasp, I think, is around $300 or so, and it does feel a lot higher quality than the original clasp that came out with the 3861 Speedmasters. It's a bit longer, and of course you get that micro adjustment, just one little click, about a link's worth, which is really, really nice to have. Overall, I have loved wearing this watch. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have a date, but also it's just so accurate. It's a really special timepiece to be able to wear and to be able to enjoy. Enjoy it on the wrist in this video, and thanks to Lewis Jewelers for sponsoring our content. They've been a great partner to work with this last year, and really fun to test out some of the watches that they have in their store. Go check them out at lewisjewelers.com. All right, back on the road. Not the best turning radius here. You do get used to doing some Austin Powers style 3-point turns in this F-150 Raptor R, but that's okay. Exhaust sounds good in this. I'm a little bit torn on, I think the TRX sounded a little bit better. It doesn't quite rip like I would expect it to. It doesn't sound like a Mustang. Let's go into sport mode. One nice thing about the F-150 though is you could open up that back window and you can hear the exhaust better from the rear. Maybe it's how long the exhaust routing is in this. It sounds good, I think it could be better. Maybe it just needs to be opened up a little bit. Sport mode does stiff it up significantly. This actually handles really, really well around a corner. It's pretty amazing. The mechanical grip here, I think it might even be better than my Ranger Raptor. Big honking visors to block the sun. We'll clean our front window here too. Sitting on the highway, 65 miles an hour, about 1,600 RPM. 10-speed kicks down super fast. Let's play with the paddles some. Good blips on downshift. Bit of dive under braking. Here's where that faster steering ratio comes into play. Oh, it's so quick. And pretty flat around a corner too. That is impressive. A lot of tire squeal from these KO2s, but honestly, the traction here is immense, even in too high. This truck is just simply unfazed by anything you hit on the road. Let's go back into normal. And of course, this being a Raptor, you've got buttons here to adjust your steering weight, your damper between normal, sport, and off-road. Normal's the softest, sport is the stiffest, off-road gives you a bit more damping under heavy compression. And exhaust mode settings here. Here's sport. Gets a little bit louder than normal. Normal's pretty spicy though. And of course Baja, which gets really rowdy. But still, this V8 never really kind of screams how I want it to. And the quiet mode is quiet. You hear a lot of supercharger noise. Honestly, the normal settings here are kind of just what I default to. The steering, normal mode isn't too heavy. It's perfect weight. Feels pretty good too. No engine stop start in this Raptor R, which is very, very nice. Something I've had to battle with in my Ranger Raptor every day, turning that button off. Let's hit a little side quest here. Ooh, got some washout here. Nice. Over some bumps. Really good control here. I don't think we're going to clear that limb, so we're going to go underneath it. And you just get the sensation that you could go anywhere in this Raptor. It's a total hoot. It's a muscle truck. But so composed, so good dynamically. there is a lot of power here. Maybe we'll keep it in 4 auto. Alright, let's go find some better driving roads. Maybe we'll find some dirt. See how the suspension handles some higher speed stuff off-road. Again, this is not really an off-road test. I just didn't have time to take it out to an off-road course this week. And honestly, aside from the Silver Lake sand dunes here in Michigan, there isn't really a whole lot where this thing would fit. Most of the trails around here are just way too tight, way too small for this to get down. All right, we're back in sport mode, too high. We'll turn a couple things off. Hero stuff in the Raptor R. I love it. Oh man. This thing is good. It's expensive, but it is so good. I haven't driven another truck that matches this dynamic. It's so comfortable, so nice to live with on a daily basis. Again, it feels like a luxury car. You're relaxed, you're quiet, there's no shakes or rattles or noises in here. The NVH on the highway is virtually non-existent. You just hear a little bit of tire and exhaust roar. That's it. You don't get Blue Cruise. That would be nice. But you get a pretty good adaptive cruise control system. And then lane keeping, lane centering. It goes for a few seconds before prompting you to put your hands on the wheel, which can be a little bit irritating. I've mostly just been using adaptive cruise, and that works great. Super quiet at speed. Yeah, this is really nice. Good visibility too. I always like this lower cutout on F-150s right here because you can see down below. And the mirrors are really nicely kind of shaped so that you can see behind you, but also in your blind spot. Of course, we get blind spot monitoring, all that good stuff too. We have physical controls for our gauge cluster brightness. I mean, the ergonomics in this cabin are just fantastic. It's so easy to use everything. Everything's just within a quick arm's reach. If your arms are long enough to reach half the controls over here. It's just so big and so expansive, but I've really gotten used to it this week. Will I ever upgrade to a full-size Raptor? Honestly, probably not. It's just too big. It's too big for my driveway. It's too big for my garage. You can park it in grocery store parking lots. You can take it into the city, but chances are you're not going to fit in a parking garage. It's going to be too tall. This is like the equivalent of a new McMansion with huge cathedral ceilings. Just the truck bed and half the door comes up to the roof height of most other vehicles, even some crossovers and SUVs. It's so big, it's so tall, it's just hilariously massive. And I guess that's both a positive and a negative. I mean, some people are used to driving trucks this big around on a daily basis. They live out in the country where there's room, where there's space. They live out west where there's a bit more room. If you live in the city, if you live in a more urban environment, something like this it's a bit tedious to live with. But everywhere else, I mean, this is America. It's huge. Let's drive around a bit casually here. Try not to hit these deer. There we go. Smart deer, they know what's good for them. Give you guys a taste of what gearbox programming is like at lighter throttle. This is definitely the smoothest F-150 I've ever driven. The calibration with the 10-speed is really, really good here. And I'm saying that because it's not so good everywhere else in my experience. The F-150's been a bit buggy, a little bit lurchy. Even my Ranger Raptor has a few rough starts and inconsistent shifts here. This has been flawless all week. No clunks when coming down from speed. I do get the occasional exhaust pop, which is satisfying. And this faster turning ratio is really nice for navigating this around. I don't feel like, okay, maybe the steering wheel is the size of a bus wheel or something. It's enormous, but I don't feel like I have to turn it over hand all the time with this new 16:1 ratio, which is great. Just a bit of supercharger whine. It's subtle. And you just breathe on the throttle and this thing rockets forward. It's so fast. It's actually fast. It's a truck that's actually fast. It hides its weight very, very well. What surprises me about the suspension is even over tiny little bumps, it's smooth and it just kind of rolls over everything with the poise of like a Mercedes S-Class or something. That's the best way to compare it. It is just so supple. And it's amazing that something so heavy can be so soft at the same time, because usually there's a bit of initial harshness to a truck's suspension character. There's that impact harshness, and then once you get into some of the bigger bumps, it starts to soften up. This is just soft all the time. The damping is so well calibrated that it just figures it all out, no matter the condition. All right, let's do a quick 0 to 60. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Brakes are quite good as well. There's a lot of bite here initially and within the braking system. It gives you a lot of confidence. So impressive. You really need a big open space to experience this Raptor R. There's so much power here that you could just get up to ridiculous speeds so fast off-road. And the suspension, everything can take it. These 37s just roll over huge impacts and shrink them like they're nothing. The crazy thing about this truck is it has all this off-road capability, but instead of compromising its on-road performance, it just enhances it. This is also just probably the best truck I've ever driven on-road because it's so comfortable, because it's so powerful, because dynamically it's so dialed in with these live valve shocks. It's amazing. It does everything well. Okay, maybe you can't tow 11,000 pounds with it, but 8,700 pounds isn't too bad. You could daily this, and then you could go do some crazy things in the desert with it as well. It's just awesome. Even normal mode boogies. We're gonna put our exhaust in quiet. like this performance view gauge cluster too. It shows you your fuel percentage, your oil temp, your oil pressure, tire pressure, what mode, drive mode you're in, and all that information. It's everything that's relevant, everything that you need right there with a massive tach, a gear indicator, and a tiny little speedo. Perfect. Wonder what braking performance is like at Baja on dirt. Yeah, good ABS calibration there, allowing just a bit of lockup for the conditions and getting us down from speed very quickly. Gosh, there's so much traction here. All right, guys. Well, there is the F-150 Raptor R. Refreshed, updated, improved for the 2024 model year. Ford Performance has done some special things here, and what a truck. It's expensive, but we drive some other stuff that costs about this much money, and it's just not as good. If you don't care about the size, if you don't care about the fuel economy, at least you get the range out of that 36-gallon tank. This would just be the ultimate vehicle that can kind of do it all. It's fun to drive on road, it's super comfortable, and you can have some crazy adventures and insane high-speed experiences off-road if you have the terrain and the conditions and the space to do it. It's a special truck. It just drives so well, and I do like a lot of the changes that Ford has made here for the 2024 model year. It's an improvement in many areas. Not that the old Raptor R was a slouch. It was amazing also, and this just improves on that. So let's walk you around this one more time, and that'll be a wrap for this video. See if we can actually fit it into a parking space here. Let's see, we've got parking camera access right there. Super easy, super quick to punch when you're approaching a parking spot. I did take this shopping this week, and it really only fits in Home Depot parking spaces. Everywhere else, you're kind of just at the whim of anyone else around you. Yeah, what a beast. Love it. All right, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks again to our sponsor, Lewis Jewelers. What an awesome truck. I like this more this week than I actually thought I would. If the Ranger Raptor is kind of the sweet spot in terms of size, dynamically, this does it the best for everything else. Not as driftable as the Ranger Raptor. I noticed that. A bit more buttoned down. Suspension is much softer. See if CarPlay connects. 9.4 mpg. That's about right. That's about where we've been this week. CarPlay said connected successfully. Good. Volume knob. Volume controls right here on the steering wheel. B&O it's loud, it's powerful. Good bass, pretty clear. It's a nice sound system. Also, maybe I touched on this a little bit in the review, but I gotta give props to Ford for not going stupid touchscreen for everything in this truck. They've kept it. It's a truck. It's got big buttons. You can punch everything with your fist. It's got easy to use controls, and I feel like truck buyers really appreciate this. I feel like all buyers really appreciate this. It has a minimally involved infotainment experience, which is nice. Which is great, actually, because the infotainment could be faster, it could be better. It works, though, because everything else you can control with a physical button. And I love that. If manufacturers think people want minimalism, yeah, we want minimal infotainment involvement. Couple weird little Ford bugs here and there, it's just the way it is with tech and all the connectivity these days. But for the most part, this week it's been great. Also, something that I've noticed, I've read about this on the internet. I'm not sure if it's what the case is with this Raptor R, but when you engage cruise control in my Ranger, lane keep assist will automatically come on. In this, it doesn't. So I don't know if it's an update, if it's a change, if it's something that came out after this Raptor R was built. But this doesn't do it. So this just cruise control's on, it's on. You can turn on lane keep off, but it'll default to being off whenever you engage cruise, which is nice. All right, let's hit one entrance ramp here in sport mode, and that'll be actually the end of the video. It'll be a wrap. So we're gonna be in 4 auto. We're gonna leave it in drive. See how it downshifts. Hard on the brakes, turning in. So much traction out of the corner here. At the edge of grip there. Look how flat that was, though. And it's just so quick. I think there are quite a few sports cars that couldn't hang with this thing on the street. It's good. It's very, very good. Alright, time to preserve what fuel I have left in this thing. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Take care.